The Mystery of the Bighorn Medicine Wheel, shared in Wyoming. The centuries-old medicine wheel, as it is now known, is positioned high in the Bighorn Mountains of northern Wyoming and appears to be a monument to astronomical applications employed by people who lived in the northern plains long before white men or even the Crow Indians arrived. The wheel, which is over 10,000 feet above sea level near Medicine Mountain's peak, is usually only accessible by humans during the summer months. The medicine wheel has a diameter of 80 feet and a circumference of 245 feet, and is thought to be made of stone collected from around the monument. With stones stacked inside to construct a core, donut-shaped cairn measuring 12 feet in diameter and 2 feet tall. The central cairn connects 28 stone spokes into an outside circle, and around the circle there are 6 more stone cairns, some of which are large enough for a person to sit in. The 6 cairns that surround the wheel are unmistakably linked to the night sky. The 28 spokes most likely represent the 28-day moon cycle, but the number 28 also appears to fit to another piece of astronomical puzzle. When 2 of the cairns are aligned with the center, they can be used to indicate the rising and setting of the summer solstice. At one cairn and looking towards another, you will be directed to numerous spots on the distant horizon. On summer solstice, these points illustrate where the sun rises or sets, as well as where helically rising stars first rise at dawn after being hidden by the sun. The morning stars are employed to forecast the arrival of the Earth's ceremonial days. The area is snow-free for only 2 months of the year, during summer solstice. The day a star can be first seen shortly after dawn, after being behind the sun for an entire season, is known as the helical rising of the star, which pinpoints the matching date for stars in these observations. From around 1200 to 1700 AD, these stars would have served as solstice markers for Native Americans. Fomalhaut would rise 28 days before summer solstice, Aldebaran would rise during the 2 days leading up to solstice, Rigel would rise 28 days after solstice, and Sirius 28 days after that, at the end of August, signifying the end of summer and time to leave the mountain. Bighorn medicine wheel's origins are uncertain, although the star alignments with the cairns were at their most accurate about 1280. The solstice alignments are still accurate today despite minor fluctuations in the Earth's orbit. The wheel was where the Crow first arrived in 1680, therefore its age is known. A Crow leader, after completing Vision Quest on the spot, realized they had found their homeland. The Bighorn Wheel is part of a larger archaeological complex which spans 7,000 years of Native American adaptation to and utilization of the alpine region that surrounds Medicine Mountain. Nearby, there are a number of current American Indian ceremonial staging spaces, medicinal and ceremonial plant gathering regions, sweat lodge sites, altar offering locales, and fasting or Vision Quest enclosures. The Medicine Wheel and surrounding environment are one of the most important and well-preserved ancient Native American holy site complexes in North America, according to ethnohistoric, anthropological, and archaeological evidence. In South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, between 70 and 150 wheels have been discovered. Plains Indians likely built the wheel between 300 and 800 years ago, and it has been used and maintained by many groups since then. The earliest component is the central cairn, which extends below the wheel and has been buried by wind-blown dust. It could have been used to support a center pole. During Native American ceremonies, a bison skull is frequently put atop this center cairn. While some Crow believed the wheel was created before the light, others believed that it was dropped from the heavens by God. Some claim it was built by the Sheep Eater, a Shoshone tribe whose name comes from their skill in hunting mountain sheep. Many Crow believe it is a manual for erecting teepees. A man named Scarface is mentioned in one Crow myth. He was attractive and enjoyed flaunting around in his finery in front of young women. He slipped in the fire one day while entering his mother's teepee, severely burning his face and making him embarrassed to be seen. He left his people, ashamed of his appearance, and went to dwell in the mountains. Scarface was a loner for a long time. One day, a young woman and her grandmother got separated from their people while hunting berries, couldn't find their way back. They followed a track that led them into the mountains. Scarface was periodically seen by them, and they made touch with him. Scarface eventually married the young lady. He is said to have created the medicine wheel as a refuge on their way back to his tribe. He built another teepee by the Bighorn River in the valley below on the second day. These teepee rings are thought to still be in existence. The medicine wheel was also supposed to have provided excellent spiritual medicine to Red Plume, a prominent Crow chief during the time of Lewis and Clark. According to folklore, Red Plume was visited by little beings who lived in the passage to the wheel. They led him into the dirt, telling him that the red eagle feathers were his powerful medicine guide and protector, and he was instructed to wear the little eagle feather on the back of his head over the tail feathers at all times. As a result, Red Plume was given his name. On his deathbed, he assured his family that his spirit could be discovered at the medicine wheel, where they could connect with him. However, whoever erected the medicine wheel left no clue as to what it was used for. New Age religionists and Native Americans alike are drawn to the medicine wheel site for ceremonial purposes today. In 1969, the Bighorn Medicine Wheel was placed on the National Register of Historic Places, and the site was recently extended and designated as Medicine Wheel, Medicine Mountain National Historic Landmark. There are other significant Native American holy ground on another 4,000 acres, some of which are still intact. Medicine Mountain was also very significant from a geological standpoint. There are 10 spots on Earth that are known as Continental Nuclei, or tiny patches of some of the world's oldest rocks. These old Earth portions were initially the surface of the planet's crust 2 or 3 billion years ago, and younger rock which covered them has since eroded away. Sometimes called continental roots, these rocks were once part of the Gondwanaland supercontinent, which began to break apart 300 million years ago. Between 65 million and 1 million years ago, it split into the continents we know. These continents are still drifting today. The layers of time exposed at Medicine Mountain, however, are laid bare for the open eye to see, with the medicine wheel effectively floating on some of the Earth's oldest surface stone. A nearly 360-degree picture reveals a gradual geological march downward from Medicine Mountain's summit to the fresh earth and stone that lies under on the valley floors. The Bighorn Medicine Wheel is the best example of countless medicine wheels spread over the American West and Canada. To go to the wheel, you'll travel west from Lago, Wyoming. The trek up Bighorn Range Extraordinary Western Slope is made possible by an amazing sequence of switchbacks that snake their way up the mountain. Parking is accessible near the wheel at a visitor center. The walk from the visitor center to the site is about a mile. However, handicapped guests can drive straight up to the wheel. From October through May, the roads are normally blocked, so plan your visit accordingly and connect with your spiritual self at Wyoming's Medicine Wheel.